Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before I'm going in my material, I want to introduce myself. My name is Indanugra, and in here I want to explain four period about historical perspective. Okay. The first period. This period starts with the Romance. Eric Jacobson in Basnet 1988 say goes so far as to hyperbolically propound that translation is a Roman invention, though translation is as old language itself. Translated documents were discovered in the 3rd and the 2nd millennium BC in ancient Egypt and in Iraq. This period concludes by Tytler's definition of God translation as that in which the merit of the original work is so completely transferred into another language as to be as distinctly appropriate and as strongly felt by a native of the country to which that language belongs, as it is by those who speak the language of the original work. In Bell, 1991. The second period, this period according to Steiner runs up to the 40s of the 20th century. It is characteristic as a period of theory and hermeneutic inquiry with the development of a vocabulary and methodology of approaching translation. Hermeneutics is an interpretive approach developed by German Romantics and named after the Greek word hermeneuon, meaning to understand. French humans Etienne Dold, who had propounded in 5040 a short outline of translation principle, and Ted Ullmanner the Pintounder, a language and author, how to translate well from one language into another, and establish 5 principles for the translator in Basnet 58. Next, the third period, this period which in the shortest as it extends to less than 3 decades, starts with the publication of the first papers on machine translation in the 1940 and is characteristic by the introduction of structural and applied linguistics. Contrastive studies in morphology and syntax, among others, which help the translator identify similarities and difference between NL and IVL, and communication theory into the study of translation. It's comprised two eras. First, the pioneering era 90 and 49 to 1954. The second, the invention of the first generation of machine translation. Next, the fourth period, the last period, so coexists with the third period as it has its origin in the early 1960s and is characteristic by a recourse to hermeneutic inquiries into translation and interpretation, e.a. by Next, translation computerization era. The invention of computer has led to a spread after an automatic machine translation (MT), wherein the computer is provided with the st to be reproduced automatically or with the assistance of man, semantically equivalent and well-formed text in the TL. Next, Arab sterilization. The Arabs, according to Baker, are credited with initiating the first organized, large-scale translation activity in history. This activity started during the regime of the Umayyads and reached its zenith under the Abbasids, particularly during the regime of al-Ma'mun, known as the Golden Era of Translation. Al-Ma'mun had founded in the most important institute of higher learning in Islam, which also became the most celebrated center of translation in Arab history. Bait al-Hikmah, House of Wisdom, in Baghdad, functioned as an academy, library, and translation bureau which had a personnel of 65 translators. Contemporary status of translation theory. It seems that there is no unanimity on the role played by theory in translation practice. Peter Emery cites Klein, Burley, among others, who maintain that theory has no place in most university translation programs and goes so far as to declare that it should be discarded in favor of more practical work. But this scientifically and empirically grounded view is easily refuted by the general consensus that any translation program really needs some sort of principle and any translation theoretical background, let alone theory to guide practice. We strongly concur with human Bahumate, who characterized the lack of theoretical component as a serious drawback in most Arab translation programs. Okay, maybe just it. I'm sorry if I have wrong words and I have mistakes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.